Thank you for joining us on this demo. We'll be going over a couple key points on what TaxShield Software has to offer. Referrals are one of the easiest and cheapest methods to increase revenue for a low expense. We made it simple so you have the ability to compensate the individuals who refer clients to your business with not only check printing, but also a criteria configuration and text alerts to notify them of when their check is available for pickup. Admins can configure referral criteria based on payout amount, acknowledgments from the IRS, as well as other advanced settings to protect you from high loss ratio. Now, establishing a referral program is one of the most efficient methods, not only in tax business, but any business in general. The referral method is more effective and less expensive than other traditional mediums, and this is simply due to the fact that you're paying for the client that's already in your store. I know firsthand a cost per call alone can cost upwards of more than $100 just for a call. So to pay $50 for a client that's already in your store is at least a risk I'm willing to take. So by now you're probably asking yourself, like, why would I use TaxShield Software if I can just run a referral program on my own? Well, TaxShield Software allows you to streamline a referral program and allows you to fund your referrals in real time. Now, the magic happens when the check is printed while they're at the desk, because once it touches their hand, it becomes real. Because all this happens in real time, the chances of repeat referrals are exponentially increased. One of the problems TSS solves for our clients is security and control without constraining the limited time afforded to you during their busy tax season. No need for check vaults or the hassle of maintaining petty cash in store. TSS is taking care of that for you. At TaxShield, we understand that cash flow can be tight with no revenue coming in, so we've made funds available to our clients in an effort to navigate smoothly and effectively throughout the tax season. Ask us how referral funding works after this demo. Let's start by configuring our referral program settings. We'll find this inside the Advanced Criteria tab. So the first option we have is, do you want to enable the referral payout? Having this nifty tool is really important sometimes because you may need to disable the entire module for emergency sake or whichever circumstances may arise. You have the ability to do so, and it happens in real time, so every account that you have underneath your umbrella will reflect the updates immediately, which is very effective given the scenario that you may be dealing with. The second option that we have is the referral notifications. We give this option to our clients because we've actually had some users prefer to not have this turned on because they want to be thoroughly ready before their customers are notified that their check is available for pickup. Now, we also have the majority of our users that leave this on all the time because it automatically will send a text message to the client whenever the person that they referred's return is acknowledged by the IRS. Which leads to the third option. Require acknowledgments from the IRS in order to release the referrals. That means this is one of the most important options in the module because the risk level is much, much lower. To put it simply, referrals can still be processed but are not released into the check queue until that particular return is acknowledged by the IRS. What we've had our clients do is turn off and lower the amount before the IRS opens to, say, about like $25. And once the IRS opens, they just turn it on and increase the payout amount to $50. Now, what we found is $50 referrals has been the sweet spot that the majority of our users have been setting. It's very easy to sell and it's sufficient enough to entice your clientele to grab their friends, family, coworkers, and bring them into your store. There are also some other parameters that you can set so that the restriction settings will prevent unqualified referrals from being released and funded. Look, at the end of the day, you want to have a portal that gives you all the control that you need in real time. And you'll hear me say that a lot throughout this presentation. And the reason why we do that is because the tax season window is so narrow to make your bottom line that you need as much control over your operation as possible. But also, time is the most valuable commodity that you have. So having the ability to control how much you fund, who qualifies for the funding, and being able to set the parameters from the convenience of your laptop is probably the biggest asset that TaxShield Software has to offer. Now that we've set the criteria, we can move over on how to actually process referrals. Admins cannot process any referrals And that's because the referrals are tied to employees with their PTIN, and that's for tracking purposes. So first things first. To add a new referral, we click the plus sign icon at the bottom right of the screen on the Customer tab, because we have to have a client in the system for the software to be able to go through its checks and balances on the back end. So you'll need the information file from your tax software to be able to move forward. We wanted to eliminate the possibility of double entry because the employee already has taken down and entered the information that the client has provided. We don't want the employees to have to retype all that information, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, it's error prone. When re-entering sensitive information where something as simple as one number off is an entirely different person, being able to reduce the amount of user typo errors is extremely important. And the second reason is time. When you have a lobby full of customers, a client sitting in front of you, and you're trying to process a referral, you don't want to fill out another form entirely when all of that can be easily imported. So what we have here is no actual typing or data re-entry is necessary because all of that is imported from your tax software. When you go into your tax software, you'll see an icon that says Export Client Data, and from there, you can download and pick it up in TSS like we did here, and you simply just have to type in the social security number of the client to have the system confirm that everything matches. This is all happening while the client is at your desk. The referral process begins once the preparer has finished entering all of the client data into your tax software. You then import that into TSS. There are other safeguards in place to verify that this client has been processed correctly. Namely, the EIN is checked, as well as the user login information to make sure that this particular person actually belongs to this particular store. So once everything matches, it'll import all of that information for that client into the system automatically. This is the referred individual that we're putting in first. You're able to see how many years a client has been with you, if any, as well as tax return information, service fee, and disbursement information. So in this example, we'll just save the client info into the system. From here, go to the Referral tab, and you'll see that these are examples of all the referrals that this account has accrued over the last year or so. Now, referrers don't necessarily have to be your actual clients. They can be anybody. We've had clients refer business to us but filed somewhere else, so anyone can be a referrer. So you enter information to set up a referrer's profile so that we can keep a record of all the referrals that this person is responsible for. You can't have more than one referral profile. That's why we use social security numbers so that the system will catch duplicates. Once everything is good, go ahead and save. Once you create a referral account for a referrer, you can now process any referrals under that profile. If you try to process a client that has not been added yet, like we did earlier, be mindful the referral system works on both ends. So the first thing is the person the referrer brings into your store must be in TSS also, so that when you click Add Referral, the system will verify that this client is valid by you entering their social security number. Let's say you try to enter or import someone that has not been processed yet. The system safeguard will not allow you to proceed. Now, when you enter the correct social security number for the client that we processed earlier, you will see that the referral has been approved and the payout amount will be displayed on the screen. Once you click Generate Referral Check, the check will then generate and be placed inside your Checks Queue tab and be ready for printing immediately for your client. Once you start processing clients, this paid ratio bar right here will give you an indication of how efficient your referral campaign has been thus far. So if you had two people that someone referred and both of those clients' returns got funded, meaning the IRS deposited their money and you collected your fees, you would see this paid ratio bar at 100%. Now, if only 2 of the 4 referrals had got funded, then you would see the ratio bar at 50% and so on and so forth. And this is helpful because it visually shows you how effective it is, which is crucial. You're not just giving out money, but how is it working? Is the referral program beneficial for you? Am I just spending money or am I generating sufficient ROI? How effective is it? It's a loaded question, so having that easily displayed visual gauge gives you an understanding of not only how your referral module is working, but also how trustworthy are your referrers. Have they been referring you good customers, or have they been referring you less than preferable clients? Now, once the check has been generated, it'll be in the check queue. And from there, you can test print and see how the check is actually going to look once it prints out. And one of the cool things that we can do for you is co-branding. So your checks can actually have your company logo design on them on every check that's printed, and that's actually something that every one of our clients choose to opt in for. Now, if I had set the criteria to release the check once the return is acknowledged and the IRS is still closed, then the check will not be released into the check queue. You can still process them, so you may have hundreds of referral checks that have not yet been released, and that's because they're awaiting acknowledgement from the IRS. Once the acknowledgement is confirmed on the back end, it will automatically release the check, and if you have referral notifications turned on, then the referrer will get a text alert on their cell phone informing them that their check is available for pickup. Which is extremely important because you want your client to come and pick up their check. Like I mentioned earlier, the moment they see their name on that check, they start glowing. They'll go on social media and start posting. They'll go on their phone, start calling, texting friends, family, coworkers, people they go to church with. The word of mouth that you get from that client because of their excitement from getting paid for the referrals is priceless. Word of mouth advertisement will always be the most sincere form of marketing. So hopefully you have a better understanding of how the referral module works and how it can improve and work for your bottom line. My name is Devin, and this is TaxShield Software.